Active member of the American Academy of Pediatrics is very concerned about youngsters growing up saturated by visual media.
Television is most obviously the #1 leisure activity of most children from age 2 on up. The statistics are that most youngsters, young and old, watch TV anywhere from 3 to 5 hours a day, that they will watch TV in their lifetime up and through high school, probably more than they will attend class. The only other activity they do even close to as much as they watch television is sleep. And so what we see is that television has an inordinate influence on youngsters. And what they watch and how they watch it and how much they watch is extremely important, both in developmental terms and also in future interactional terms, in terms of communication and social and behavioral interaction with their peers. Their brains are basically engaged in a very passive exercise. These youngsters are not going about the usual business of childhood, which is play. When youngsters play, they involve all of their systems, gross motor systems, fine motor systems, integrative cognitive systems. They have to learn the intellectual exercise of how to operate a toy, how to make the toy move, how to have the toy avoid obstacles, how to place the toy in certain positions. So everything is involved: spatial relations, working with and sharing the toy, becoming interactional on the playground. All of these things are important. When we watch television, the only thing we need to do is be focused on the television, not on ourselves, not on our skills, and not on anyone else around us. When youngsters play independently, and they process things that they're doing independently, and they produce some self-calming skills. For instance, if things aren't going well and the blocks are falling down, they have to say to themselves, now, what is the best way for me to balance these blocks? So again, the independence of having to discuss mentally and internally how things are going, to work through those obstacles, to learn and relearn a skill, does not happen when we watch television. Skill building does not happen when we're sitting in front of a passive screen. What we show youngsters, what they see, what they hear, what they feel in those first 3 years is tremendously important to them. Starting at the age of 4 to 5, these youngsters enter a tremendous skill building process. Infancy is building trust and, shall we say, preliminary skills. When we get to school, we now have an opportunity to show those skills off and build on them and really become skill building in terms of learning to read, learning to write, learning to think, learning to create physical skills such as ballet, gymnastics, baseball, basketball, etc. So youngsters have a tremendous opportunity at the age of 5 to begin to focus their efforts on building certain skills in life, shall we say, enhancing areas. Those skills will not be accomplished if their basic tenet is to say, I'm going to spend 4 or 5 hours of my day going ahead and sitting passively and letting things sweep over me. I'm not going to have a chance to build those skills because, frankly, I'm involved elsewhere. My brain is involved elsewhere in a visual way. Certainly, we see that lack of television in youngsters that are really using a lot of television will produce depression and sadness and anger and anxiety and frustration. So if we say a constant diet of this is like a constant diet of anything else, withdrawal can produce significant symptoms. So we can expect, and what we tell parents in the office is that if your youngster is watching 5 hours of television a day and you want to go back to an hour and a half, you're going to have some sort of taper process instead of just cutting the youngster off, because that's going to be a tremendous amount of withdrawal the youngster is going to go through.